The film depicts the origins and early relationship of Optimus Prime and Megatron and how they forever changed the fate of Cybertron, the Transformers' home planet. When I first heard about Transformers 1 directed by Josh Cooley, I approached it with a fair amount of skepticism. It's the franchise's first theatrical animated feature since The Transformers, the movie, back in 1986, and the idea of an animated origin story for Optimus Prime and Megatron felt risky. How do you distill the grandeur of these iconic characters into an animated buddy comedy? I feared it might stray too far from the serious tones and epic battles that fans have come to expect. But surprisingly, this film managed to strike a delicate balance between comedy and drama, resulting in a fresh yet familiar experience. One of the film's most commendable elements is its storytelling. Transformers 1 dives into the early days of Optimus Prime and Megatron before they were known by those names. Optimus, or Orion Pax, and Megatron, then D-16, are portrayed as underdogs in a society that deems them as mere junk bots. This is the classic underdog story with a twist. Two friends who eventually find themselves on opposite sides of an ideological conflict. The film's tone is adventurous yet heartfelt, maintaining a buddy comedy vibe without sacrificing the emotional weight of its core story. It's a delicate juggling act, but Cooley manages to make the comedic elements enhance rather than detract from the narrative. Early jokes had me chuckling more than I expected, proving that the film could blend humor and gravitas in a way that serves both. Even Bumblebee, voiced by Keegan-Michael Key, has its comedic moments, though some are a bit overplayed. Despite the humor, the film never shies away from the inevitable tragedy of Optimus Prime and Megatron's friendship. The movie's standout moments are when it shifts focus from comedy to drama. The friendship and eventual fracturing between Optimus and Megatron are rendered with surprising nuance. The narrative gives Megatron's anger and betrayal a relatable edge, making him more than just a one-dimensional villain. When the film demands a serious tone, it lets those moments breathe, avoiding the trap of undercutting emotional depth with a cheap laugh, a lesson many other films could learn from. The result is a story that feels genuine and earnest, not just a cash grab or a rehash of old themes. That said, the film isn't without its flaws. While the voice acting was solid overall, hearing other voices in the roles of Optimus and Megatron was jarring at times. Brian Tyree Henry brought a compelling mix of warmth and menace to Megatron, which worked in his favor since Megatron's voice has varied in different iterations. However, Chris Hemsworth as Orion Pax, or Optimus, was a bit more challenging to accept. Hemsworth brought his signature charm and strength, but his voice never fully captured the gravitas we've come to associate with Optimus Prime. Without Peter Cullen's iconic voice, it felt like a different character entirely for much of the film. It was only towards the end, as Orion Pax evolved into Optimus Prime, that I started to accept Hemsworth's take on the character. Some of the jokes, while funny at first, did feel a bit overused. Bumblebee's recurring line, "You can call me B," was charming initially, but it started to wear thin after the umpteenth repetition. Additionally, the final act, while action-packed and thrilling, wasn't the primary draw for me. The real heart of the story was the emotional journey between the two friends turned adversaries. The action served to heighten the tension between Optimus and Megatron, but it wasn't the focus in the way many fans might expect from a Transformers film. Despite its shortcomings, Transformers 1 is a surprisingly rich addition to the franchise. It dives deep into the lore of these characters, giving us a story that's not just about epic battles, but about friendship, betrayal, and the making of legends. The film's pacing is tight, avoiding the bloat that often plagues modern blockbusters. It doesn't stretch itself too thin or drag on with unnecessary subplots. Instead, it tells one cohesive story that stands on its own while leaving room for potential sequels. This movie is more than just an animated film for children. It's an exploration of two iconic characters before they became legends. It's not perfect, but it's thought-provoking and emotionally engaging. For fans of the Transformers franchise, it's a nostalgic yet fresh take that brings new depth to familiar faces. For newcomers, it offers an accessible entry point into a world that's often been dominated by live-action spectacle. In the end, Transformers 1 delivers a story that's more than meets the eye. Pun intended. It's a film that resonates on an emotional level, reminding us that even in a universe of transforming robots, the most compelling stories are the ones that focus on the humanity at their core. That's my opinion on Transformers 1. Do you agree with my thoughts? What are your thoughts on the film? Let me know in the comments. Please drop a like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.
What did happen to the last 10? I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set them rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs.